It's January here in Idaho. My fridge is full of eggs, and fermented feed is a big reason why. Today, I'm walking you through my full fermented feed system, how I design it, how I manage it daily, and how it's helped me keep my birds healthy and productive through the long winters. This is a system I've fine-tuned over time, and it works in every season. It keeps my birds healthy, it cuts down on waste, and honestly just makes my life easier by working with their biology instead of against it. I break the system into 3 parts. First, it's my base feed mix. Second, it's my rotating herbal approach. And finally, it's a daily fermentation batch. Once you understand those 3 pieces, it all becomes pretty simple. I actually didn't start fermenting feed because it was trending. I started because it made sense biologically. Fermentation just brings in good bacteria that support digestion and immunity, and it pre-digests the feed so nutrients are easier for the chickens to absorb. What that means for you is fewer digestive issues, less wasted feed, and healthier birds without constantly medicating. It also breaks down compounds that would normally block mineral absorption, which means your birds get more out of every bite. And because the feed is already hydrated and partially broken down, it's easier on their systems, especially during heavy laying or colder seasons. On a practical level, fermented feed cuts waste, improves feed efficiency, and helps you work smarter by keeping your birds healthier while saving money on feed. For me, it's not about fancy feeding, it's about designing a long-term health system instead of fixing problems later. And just to be clear, fermented feed isn't the only thing I feed the chickens. This base mix that I'm going to show you is also the dry feed that my birds have free access to throughout the day. So this is the foundation of everything I feed. I use a locally sourced, whole grain, non-GMO, 20% protein chick starter grower as my main feed because I keep roosters mixed in with my flock. Instead of using layer feed, I offer free choice calcium in the form of oyster shell and crushed eggshells, so the hens can take what they need for egg production and the roosters aren't forced into excess calcium, which can be hard on their kidneys over time. For every 100 pounds of base feed, I'll add 5 pounds of either red lentils or green split peas for extra protein during fermentation, 5 to 10 pounds of scratch grains just in the winter for more energy, 2 pounds of quinoa, and side note, I only ever give quinoa fermented or fully cooked because dry quinoa is coated in saponins, which you don't want chickens eating dry. Once it's fermented or cooked though, it becomes a great protein boost. I also like to add 2 pounds of hulled buckwheat, and finally I round that off with 10 pounds of whole barley and give it all a good mix. This tote will last me about 2 months since I use around 6 cups of dry feed each day for my fermented batches. Herbs is often where people get confused, so I want to be clear. This is not a daily recipe, it's just an herbal toolkit that I rotate based on the season, stress levels, laying cycles, and what I'm seeing in the flock. For gut balance and pathogen control, I rotate oregano, thyme, and cinnamon, great natural antimicrobials and antifungals. I also like to use cayenne pepper and red pepper flakes for anti-parasitic control. For reproductive and laying support, I'll use fennel and fenugreek. For inflammation, liver support, and detox, turmeric with black pepper is one of my core foundations. And when I want extra anti-inflammatory and circulation support, especially in cold weather or during heavy laying, I'll also use ginger. For respiratory health and to keep the flock calm, I use lemon balm, peppermint, and spearmint. For digestive irritation, sore vents, or diarrhea, I'll use licorice root and slippery elm. And for rebuilding, feathers, and mineral support, I use nettle and basil and rosemary. Again, not every herb is going to go into every batch daily. All the herbs I use are chicken safe, traditionally used herbs added in small, rotating amounts. Anytime I'll add something new, I double check with trusted poultry health references. This is just about building resilience and supporting your chickens, not overdoing anything. Actually, I plan to do a full in-depth video on chicken safe herbs and how to use them responsibly. So if that's something you're interested in, just hit that subscribe button to stay tuned. Once I've got my base mix and my herbs figured out, this is how I ferment feed day to day. Every day, I save about a cup of liquid from the last batch to kickstart the next one. It's like keeping a little sourdough starter for the feed. It helps keep the beneficial bacteria strong and consistent. This isn't strictly necessary, but I find it does help speed things up and it keeps the ferment more predictable. After I pull that starter, I just rinse and scrub out the bucket and refill it with my base dry feed. For my 26 birds, I use about 6 cups of dry feed per batch each day. I'll also add about a quarter cup of sesame seeds a few times a week. They ferment really well and provide healthy fats and minerals without overdoing it. After I add my feed, I add my rotational herbs and supplements for the day. Now, this is where people think fermented feed gets complicated, and it really doesn't. So I'll show you. For today's batch, I'm adding 1 teaspoon of thyme for antimicrobial support, 1 teaspoon of fresh minced garlic for immune and parasite support, 1 teaspoon of turmeric activated with about a half teaspoon of black pepper for inflammation, liver support, and detox, and about a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to help with pH balance and mineral absorption. After I add my herbs and supplements, I add my cup of saved starter liquid from the previous batch and cover the feed with water, roughly 4 inches above the feed so that there's plenty of room for it to absorb as it ferments. And then I stir it 2 to 3 times a day to keep the ferment even. In about 3 days, it's ready. And one of the easiest ways to know your ferment is healthy is by the bubbling. That bubbling is the natural activity of beneficial bacteria doing their job. Fermented feed should smell like beer, sauerkraut, sourdough, or even pickles when it's done right. It's that tangy, alive smell. For reference, this is what a healthy ferment looks like. You'll see gentle bubbling and movement, not putrid or rotten. If it smells bad or looks like mold has formed on top, toss it. I keep my fermenting bucket somewhere that stays above freezing and reasonably warm, not hot, not cold, just so the bacteria can actually do their job. To keep it simple and sustainable, I use a 3-bucket rotation. 1 ready to serve, 1 fermenting, and 1 starting fresh. As soon as 1 empties, I refill it, so I'm never rushed and never without feed. I also be sure to write the date on each bucket when I refill it, so I always know which batch is which. My day usually starts around 4:30 in the morning after I've had my cup of coffee. Then I use a simple Asian strainer to drain the feed and serve it up into separate dishes. In the cold winter months, I also like to supplement with black soldier fly larvae, chia seeds, hemp hearts, and sprouted black oil sunflower seeds. Black soldier fly larvae adds highly digestible protein and calcium, which helps with laying. Chia seeds and hemp hearts get rotated in sometimes for the omega fats and metabolic support, especially during heavy laying and cold stress. And sprouted sunflower seeds are just one of my favorite additions. Sprouting them reduces the excess oil and makes the nutrients easier to absorb, which helps prevent fatty liver issues while still giving them lots of healthy fats for their feathers and skin. Some people look at supplements and think they cost more than the eggs. But for me, this isn't about the price of eggs. It's about building long-term health, reducing problems, and not having to fix things later. I really believe we are what we eat, and the same goes for our animals. When I feed my chickens well, it shows in their health, their eggs, and their longevity. So once I've got the fermented feed all dished up inside, I head outside to share it with the flock. And for most of the year, our 10-foot rain gutter trough works really well to keep everyone fed and happy and prevent squabbling and pecking order drama. I'm always mindful of the temperatures outside. In the warm summer heat, I'll pull any leftovers in the dishes before it has a chance to spoil. And on cooler days, I just make sure I'm removing any leftovers at the end of the day and rinsing out the bowls so everything is fresh for the next day. Here in Idaho, winters are long and cold, so part of my system includes keeping feed from freezing. I started using seed starter mats under multiple bowls to keep my fermented feed from freezing without killing the beneficial bacteria. Spreading the feed out in multiple dishes just helps reduce fighting and stress. I even use these seed starter mats to keep small water dishes from freezing. They're just super handy to have, not only for things like this, but for your seed starting in the garden. This fermented feed system lets me feed my chickens naturally, avoid chemicals, reduce waste, and keep my birds laying all throughout the winter, all while supporting how chickens are naturally designed to function. For me, it's about building systems that will support health instead of constantly correcting problems. So if this kind of systems-based approach to chicken care resonates with you, or if you found anything helpful in this video, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and comment below. I'd love to hear where you're at with your flock. Also, stay tuned for my upcoming videos on my sprouted barley system, as well as an in-depth video on chicken-safe herbs for health. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.